On just a brilliant and starry night here in the desert Southwest, the roof is open, and it's time for football at State Farm Stadium here in the Phoenix suburb of Glendale. Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And off we go on EA Sports. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Right to the air. Here's Murray. And this intercepted on the first play of the game. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
A first carry for the All-Pro running back, it's Josh Jacobs. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Josh Jacobs, 22 yards. And the Packers use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And the interception on that opening drive winds up leading to the touchdown, so now it's kind of time to start over.
Yeah, it certainly is, and his first throw of the game. But I like the way his guys rallied around him. Oftentimes, the quarterback is the leader, right? He tells everyone what to do. In this case, I noticed his linemen around him kind of patting him, saying, let's go, big boy. You're still our leader.
Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Now 2nd and 3. Murray going to throw. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
You know, every time we talk with people about the most important quality for a quarterback to have in the NFL, what do they usually cite?
Arm strength.
Yeah, and that's really way down on the list. Accuracy is one of the bigger ones, maybe the foremost one. That's what he needed on that play.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. They were ahead of schedule after the gain of 7 on first down, but the defense does not budge on 2nd and 3rd. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They're going for it. Hits Murray. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and it'll be a turnover on downs. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a give to Jacobs running right. Stops short of the 25. The nice move couldn't ultimately free him. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
This 2nd and 4. Throwing. Love. And he coughed it up. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. We hear them discuss red zone efficiency a lot, CD, and they almost gave that one up in the red zone. Luckily, they'll have another shot.
And you and I both know that every offensive coordinator, play caller in the league, they take particular delight in their red zone calls because those are the payoff ones. But you can't call a play if your team doesn't have the ball. Got to secure it.
He'll get this underneath to Jacobs. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Josh Jacobs. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Packers lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. McManus's point after is good. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Big Kenny Clark that time pushing upfield to make the tackle for loss.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's Murray. He'll find his rookie wideout from Ohio State here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Now Murray. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Lucas Van Ness getting free there to bring him down.
Well, that's a big defensive stop there, and it takes away a lot of the momentum from the offense coming off that big completion the prior snap. Give big credit to the defense for bouncing back.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Shotgun now for Murray. Escaping the pressure right. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Excellent work that time to get free, and for his exploits, he's going to be left with just a 3rd and 3. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on first down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down, makes it manageable now.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL. Back in Arizona, second quarter action. It's the Cardinals in possession as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. He'll try and run for it with Connor. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt that in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. To throw is Murray. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. Now, would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. Well, down 2 touchdowns already. I guess they felt they needed to go for it, but still early, still first half.
I think conventional wisdom says, look, as you point out, you got a whole half to play. Hang in there. Don't give up any more points in this situation. Do a little adjusting at the half and come out ready to go. But sometimes those coaches can just sense their team. Maybe they're a little flat or they need a little extra inspiration. And he decided to go for it there to try and kickstart things.
This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 54 yards.
I do believe I recognize that play. It's something Coach Bill Walsh installed every stop he made, putting it in the first day of camp. Ex-post cross.
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Josh Jacobs on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point from McManus is good. And it's now 21-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a fourth.
And he lost the football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Again, they'll throw with Murray. Being chased out left. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain. Throwing now is Murray. Flushed out right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, here's Murray. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
Here's Murray. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Marvin Harrison Jr., 27 yards. And the Cardinals are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Prater for the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Jonathan Gannon making the call. They'll line up to go for 2. In motion left is Wilson. It appears they're going to throw for it with Murray. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone, and that cuts the lead a bit further. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
Here's 2nd and 7. Play fake. Here's Love. Oh, that'll be incomplete. He took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Love. Now this thrown deep for Kraft. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he gets all the way down inside the 20-yard line. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 49 yards.
Here we go, set.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Josh Jacobs on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Packers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. McManus's point after is good. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. Flush to his right. Got his man, it's Dortch. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by Quay Walker. There he goes, left side. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. I mean, at this point, CD, what is not going their way in this first half? After that pick six, they now have a 4-possession lead here.
And that allows them to say to themselves, how about we get everybody involved, okay? Because this one is a runaway, and it's looking like it's going to be even more of a runaway. Everybody gets a chance to play and get a little bit of love. The more guys that get to watching the highlight reels from this one, the better.
Extra point from McManus is good. And the route is on here in this first half. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. Oh, they've intercepted Murray for the third time. Picked off by Xavier McKinney. And the Packers are going to have it here just past the 25. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
Uncorks one for Davis. That's caught at the 25. And they will finally catch him, but not before he gets it to the 11. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Okay, ready?
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone.
Rail, yellow. Ready?
Love now. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Love, they go play action now. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on first down, then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. This is caught. It's Christian Watson. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Come on, set. Ready.
Final play of the half, Love. And it'll be intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And he will be out of bounds with no time remaining on what will be the final action of this first half. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, if they score here, this one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
Here's Love. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Jalen Thompson picks it. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the third quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. After the turnover, here's Murray. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
Murray now to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Now Matt Prater for the point after. And the lead is down to 20. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Love and the Packers now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. Oh, and now some space to operate. And now off to the races down the right side. Inside the 20. Touchdown, Packers. Josh Jacobs, 71 yards. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone. I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass. Let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Now Greg Dortch going to bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, kind of a costly one. as he won't make it back to the 20. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had. He's got a man complete. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
To throw, it's Murray. Flushed out right. That pass completed to Dortch. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Buying time to his left. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. Murray now. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr., his second touchdown of the night. And the Cardinals are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the third. And he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Down to about the 37. They're stopped by Garrett Williams. 3 quarters in the books. From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A good pickup there at 22. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 183 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees.
Touchdown! Josh Jacobs, a 9-yard touchdown grab as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Dallas now to return it from his end zone. And he probably wishes he would have sat on that one. Instead, he's only able to get this up beyond the 15-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Murray, flush to his right. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds a defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback. I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
The Cardinals on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Murray. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Murray going to throw. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field. Throwing again, Murray. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
From the gun, Murray. Eluding the pressure right. Murray fighting, lost the football, and the Packers pick it up.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it. That one looks like he'll throw here. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Now McManus for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Murray. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Kenny Clark able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. They'll drop to throw. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Flushed out right. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Now Murray. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
The Cardinals going to use the 1st of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Murray to air it out again. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Now let's see who this is on. A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. To throw is Murray. This is taken in by McBride. Now the Card's going to call another timeout, their second. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Throwing now is Murray. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal. The Cardinals forced to burn their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Second and goal from the 1. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. The Cardinals offense staying put. Obviously, watch out for Kyler's legs. They'll go for 2 here. They'll try and throw for it. Flush to his right. And they are 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions as he is into the end zone for the score. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.